Okay. Hey, y'all. So, having trouble with my stand. So, we're going to kind of go live the old-fashioned way with just my little thing. So, I'll be doing this manually. But that's okay. Hey, y'all. Alright, so we're going to be doing a Valentine's wreath today. Look how cute this sign is. Look at this. Look how cute that is. So I was thinking, I really like the pink and the red and the white. And I just want to have these kind of stand out, right? So I'm not going to put any of these colors in. I'm just going to have red, white, and pink. And we're actually going to do 3 mesh together in a tie. So you can see I kind of already tested it out because I wanted to see if my idea was going to work. So I like it. And we're going to be doing, these are 2 that I'm planning on doing coming up. I really like this one. I want to do this with some, like, you know, little flowers. And then this is my Easter one. I like that. Okay. So ignore the, it's not, honestly, it's not really a mess. What it is, it's all the blankets that my kids think are necessary for that couch. And then that little black speck on the floor, that's Bella. That's Bella's spot. She has her little pile of, like, the blankets that, whoa, that she really loves. And so, let me move that out of the way. Hold on. There we go. Well, I haven't done that in a while, have I? Okay. So, this is my normal stand, but I can't get it to work. It's just not working. All right. Let's see if I can see comments here. All right, I think I got it. All right. Now, we're going to use a red frame. And I cut these mesh at 15 inches each. And so what I want to do is stack them. So I have the white, the red, and the pink stacked together. So I'm going to show you how I did that. And we're going to kind of go all the way around to the back. I'm only using these 2 ribbons because I really like them. Aren't they pretty? Me too, me too. So we're going to use that for the bow, that little bit left over for the bow. And then I also have a little bit of this red with this white trim. And I got to figure out what is going on with my camera stand that it's not working right. And I have just plain red. So we'll use that in the bow too. I haven't decided. Oh my gosh, I just dropped it. That's okay, I'll get it. Okay. I was thinking about putting these in, but I haven't decided yet. So we'll reach that, or we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. All right. So, what I'm going to do, these are cut at 12 inches. These are cut at 15. All right. So I'm just going to separate them. And you could either do it so that you have the same color combo all the way around, or you could adjust it so you see all of the colors. I'm thinking, let's see what it looks like if we adjust it. Okay. So what I'll do is, the way I'm going to put them on is I'm going to lay it flat like this. I'm going to use my little tool. I'm just going to tuck that edge under and then just go straight up the middle. Just like that. Push it down in there. Then I can adjust it any if I need. Then we'll go to the next one. Let's do pink. Okay, so same thing. We'll tuck the edge under. Go straight up. Just push that in, just like that. Okay, then the next one. Okay, tuck that under, go straight up, push that in. Alright, so you can see it's just like a little, isn't that cute? Okay, and then we'll take it, open up, oh, I'll go through and open up the ties. I'm just going to pull it out, put it right in the tie, and then we'll put our ribbons on. I like to do it all at once, but when they're like this, it's really hard to put the ribbons in at the same time. So then I'll just kind of spread it out. That way we can see all of the colors. There. See, isn't that cute? Look at that. That's cute. All right, so we'll grab a couple of our ribbons here. So how are y'all today? Okay. Oh look, I missed cutting that one. What's my skittles there? Okay, there we go. Alright, so we'll fold it in half, crease it right there in the middle, just like that, and then run your fingers under it so that you get that wire coming up, and then it'll stand out much better in our tie. So I'm just going to curl the rest of that tie up, and then we'll kind of spread these out a little, like that. See how pretty that looks like that? I really need to redo this space, but I don't have a ton of space to work with, so we kind of get what we get sometimes. So it is almost too late to make this, but we don't have one on the door, so I need to make one for our door. And then the next video we'll do Easter and spring. Alright, see how pretty that is? Look at that. Let's do the next one. Let me open up my ties here, so I'm not trying to fumble with it while I'm doing it. There we go. It has been a busy week already. How's y'all's week been? Dad and Mom both had an appointment yesterday, and Dad had an appointment today. So it's been kind of busy. All right, let's put red at the top, pink at the bottom. Okay. So just lay it flat like that. Put it right in the tool. Straight up we go. Just like that. Okay. I want to put the red at the top, so I'll do the white next. There. Down it goes. There. So that's what I wanted, was for them to like kind of pull up like that. I like that. That looks pretty. This is like my old view. You see that over there? That's all my nephew's computer stuff. That's right behind our couch. Okay. This is pretty. There we go. See, look how pretty that is. Okay. I'll do the next one. And we'll just keep alternating the colors, so that way you can see all the colors. One of these, this one, is one of the Sam's ribbons. So they are so, I haven't looked to see if they have the spring ones yet. Has anybody looked? I did get a couple of their ribbons. What I do? Look at these two. I'm going to make some signs to match. I love those two. Okay. What you think, Mama? We need something for our door. Okay. Just push it down. All right, and then we need our red. There we go. Mom's blood numbers did come back up, thankfully. So, it is a work in progress for sure. Okay. There we go. All right, just pull it out. And it goes. You know what, this method here would work really well if you have like leftover colors, but you don't have like a full roll, but you might have a few of several. You could alternate colors, especially if you're doing like spring or Easter or something like that. You could do a bunch of different colors. Yes, we can hang it on the door today. We've had winter out there for a while. I think she's ready for something new. There we go. There. So let's do white on top, red on the bottom. Okay. There we go. There. Okay. And a little pink. We'll have to do one of these with different colors and see how that comes out. That would be fun for like spring or Easter. It's always a good idea to try to come up with ways to use some of your mesh that you don't have like a full roll of. That's fun. That's fun to do that. There we go. You could also do them at 10 inches each. That would also work. I wanted it to be pretty full, but 10 inches would work really great as well. So you could do 10 or 15. 20 is going to be a little too much, but 10 or 15 work great. Just a triple ruffle. Okay. Put all the ribbons in. Sometimes it's really great just to use one set of ribbons for the whole thing. Kind of ties everything together. You don't always have to use a bunch of different ribbons. You can use just a couple. There we go. See how cute that looks? Look how full that is. I love that. Okay, so we need to do red, white. We need red on top. Pink on the bottom. That's what we're going to do. Okay. Well, let's do pink first. Okay, there we go. There. go. There. Oh, that's so cute. That's cutums, Bella. It's cutums. Alright, so we're going to go back to pink at the top. You could also just do the same pattern all the time. There we go. I like them to stand up. There you go. Okay. We're going to do white at the top. Y'all see this? Okay. There we go. That's a little better. There we go. So see how I just push it up like that? We can do the next one. It'll act like it's going to come out, but it won't. Okay. Okay, push that in. What I like about using this is, one, I don't have to try to hold it with my hand. And two, I can straighten it out because I can see what it's going to look like when I set it down. Okay. See how I just push in that one with that edge tucked under? That way you don't see any frays if they come out. Okay. And you can just take the whole piece. Well, that tie seems close, doesn't it? Those two were pretty close together. Okay, I just kind of spread them out next to each other like this, just so they'll stand up a little bit. To see how they naturally want to lay down, if you just kind of pull them up against each other, then they'll stand up really nicely. What are y'all working on? Are you working on Easter and spring? There we go. There we go. Alrighty. see, we need to do red on top. Okay. See how easy it is to kind of look and see if the sides are even? That's why I like it. There we go. Okay. Just kind of arranging it so I can make sure those little edges are tucked under. Okay. There we go. There. Spread it out. Get them all standing up. Put our little tails on it. So we're just about done with the bottom. We're going to do the same thing with the top. It's going to be super full. You know, I like my super full wreaths. Love it. Love it, love it. There we go. So one more on the bottom. So I'm going to do white on the top. So red on the bottom. Okay. There. Just like that. Okay, this time we're going to spread it out on both sides. Okay, this one spread out. There we go. So you see, if you don't do anything, it just looks kind of messy. So if you do, kind of take a minute and spread it out a little, then it stands up better. And they ruffle against each other nicely. There we go. Okay. Oh, this is pretty. And very full. There we go. Alright, so we're going to start on the top. So let's open up all the ties up here. Okay. we'll do the exact same thing. Let's start with maybe the white on bottom. Okay. There we go. And the red in the middle. I am tucking a pretty decent amount, probably a good inch or so, just so I don't see those frays. So you can see how I have it like tucked in right there. That really kind of helps a lot, because then, you know, you're not going to see any fraying from the cuts. I don't really like to use the wood burning tool unless I have no choice. It's just you really would need a mask in a good area, and it's just not something I have. Okay. Pull it out. I'm gonna put it right in here. I'm gonna spread those out. That there. So I'll get it to stand up once we start putting them in the next one. Hello. Okay, so pinch it up just like that. Tuck that down. Okay, this time we're going to kind of spread out in an X like that. So on the bottom, you can't really do an X because things are going to push down. So I do more like a little V on each side. But on the top, I can do just a big old X. All right, let's do red on top. Let me see if I can keep hitting this mesh over here. There we go. Okay. So we really aren't doing a pattern. So if you kind of vary it a little bit, it's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be hugely noticeable. So don't stress a lot if you think you got one out of order, because it doesn't matter. I'm just trying to mix it up so I can see all the colors. As if you do the same all the way around, sometimes you can miss one of the colors, like especially the red. The red is not as stiff, and so it will kind of push in a little bit more. It's a good mesh. It's just softer. It's not as stiff as the other two. So I want to vary where it is so that it will show up better. So that's one of the reasons why I do that. But I'm not really doing it in a pattern. I'm just trying to make sure I don't have two right next to each other that are exactly the same. That's really kind of all I'm trying to accomplish. It is going to get tight just because it's a lot of mesh. So remember, you could do 10-inch instead of 15. And then you could definitely do, you know, like more like scraps that you have left over and stuff. Okay. There. See, look how pretty that is. Right, Bella? Okay, so I want to do white on top. Pink in the middle. Of course, I drop it. Okay. Maybe if I move that there and this over here, y'all be able to see a little better. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. There we go. That's better. What did I say I was doing? White on top? Yes, white on top. I think I need to do red on the bottom. Okay. There we go. Okay. Now you can see what I'm doing a little better. So you see how I have the 3 colors on there. Let me just pull it out. Okay, so here's our next tie. So I tie it right in the middle where it came out of that little tool. Okay, get our ribbons. Okay, get our little curl. Tie it down. Tuck it under. There we go. There. Let's spread these out too. Okay. Red at the bottom. There we go. Okay. There. You'll have to keep messing with your ribbons. That's just normal. Alright, so we had white on top. Let's do pink on top. Okay. There we go. Let's do red at the bottom. No. Let's do pink at the bottom. Okay. There we go. This is a Deco Mesh Ruffle tool. It is available at Susie's Recent Things, SWAT. It's a tool I created a few years ago because I have fibromyalgia, and so my hands hurt. And this helps so I'm not, you know, doing repetitive things with my hands and then they don't hurt. It does a lot of work for you. And she makes them for me. Well, she makes them for her, but they're my design, I guess I should say. Okay. There we go. I believe there's a link to them in the description. There we go. Okay. So now we just pull it out. Come back over. Minus the ribbon that apparently wanted to take a trip over here. There's our tie. Okay. It's Susie's Wreaths and Things. If you just look up, just Google Susie's recent things, it should pop up pretty easily. Get that red. Okay, red and the pink. There we go. Wait, I put that on backwards. Hold on. Flip it around. The pink needs to go over the top. I was wondering why that looked funny. Because I was putting it in wrong. Okay. Wait, was I? Yeah, that's the top. The white is the top. Okay. When it starts getting pretty full, it's kind of easy to get a little confused. Just kind of have to spread it out a little bit, and then you'll see what the pattern is. You are very welcome. Yeah, it's definitely a lifesaver. So the way it works is you push it with your thumbs instead of using your fingers to gather. It takes a minute to get used to it. So if you first get it and it's like, it doesn't work, I promise it does. It's just a matter of like almost like untraining your hands to do what they've been doing. But I'll show you. So the next one we do, I'll show you what I mean. Okay. So when you get them, let's see, let's do red on top. Okay. Red. Do pink at the bottom. All right. So you just lay it flat. Okay. I like to tuck my edge under, and you just take it, you push it right in like that. Then you're going to push with your thumb. You see how pushing with your thumb pushes the stuff up? I just use my hands to keep the mesh straight. So I'm not actually gathering it with my fingers. I'm pushing with my thumb and just using my fingers to keep it straight. Because this action is what was hurting me. The pulling. So now I'm pushing, and the pushing doesn't hurt like the pulling does. It's strange, but it works. So I'm just kind of walking my hands up it. So when you put it on here, you're going to want to gather it with your fingers, but don't. Just kind of push with your thumb. See how I push with my thumb? And then my fingers just kind of go along and keep pace with it. That's how it works. Okay, pink in there. There we go. This is really pretty. This little, it has all this little pink, and it has kind of some glitter on it. It's hard to see. Yeah, but it works great. Yeah. Alrighty. Okay. We did red on top. We did pink. Let's do white. So white on top. Okay. And we'll do, let's do red on the bottom. Okay. There we go. Where did I just end off? See how I'm doing a lot of other things with my fingers instead of gathering and, yeah. My hands, after I did logs, my hands would just ache for hours. It was terrible. Now they don't. Just my back hurts. I think it's all the up and down. But that's okay. It goes away pretty quick. All right. You know, as you get older, something's always hurting. It's just what it is. But we're not going to stop our life just because of that, right? We would have nothing to do if we stopped every time we hurt. There. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that. Okay. Lordy, I've been working on moving all of my, you know, spring and all that stuff in. Isn't that always fun? You get to see all the stuff you forgot you had. Okay, so we did just white on the top? Yeah, white on the top. Okay. So let's do pink on the top. Okay. Alright, we just have a couple left. Okay. Might help if I was a little bit closer. Let me move my chair closer. There we go. It's nice and tall, but when I sit in it, it starts to like go down, but it's okay. It works pretty well. There we go. Hey, baby. It's quiet in here right now because Connor's at work. There we go. Oh, y'all, we got Carson a 3D printer for his birthday. And the boys really like D&D stuff, and he really likes Sonic. And so he's been printing stuff on his 3D printer. It is so cool. It's really cool. He did like this dice tower thing. It is really pretty cool. I'll have to go grab it and show it to you because it has like a open close mechanism and everything. Such a smart child. He's so much like his dad. Okay. Just making sure the bottom ones stay at the bottom and the top ones stay at the top. There we go. Okay. Hey. Yeah, we're good. How are you? I think things are finally settling down. So it's nice to get back on. I mean, cooking's fun. I love to cook, but I was missing my wreath making for sure. All right, let's see. We have pink. Let's do red at the bottom. Right. Yeah, red at the bottom. Maybe white on top. No, let's do, yeah, let's do red at the bottom. Okay. There we go. Then we'll make us a pretty bow. Okay. So red on the bottom. in the middle. Boy, this is nice and full. Look at that. I like them full. I like them very full. We're going to have to do a new tulip wreath for my mom this year because the one we made before, is after, you know, a few years, they start kind of falling apart. The little things start coming off their little stems. Like the stem's still in there, but the little tulips come off their stems after a while. So, and they just get, you know, worn out. So we need to make her a new one. I think we might try a new method this year. One I haven't done in a long time, but it kind of can help keep them in a little better, so I think we'll try that. Okay. Get red out, pink. Okay, you gotta do both sides on this one at the bottom here and top. There we go. White there. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. Got a little ribbon in here. There we go. Look how pretty that is. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? All right, let's get our sign on. Then we'll make a bow. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get that ribbon. It fell at the back. Oh, let's put maybe this and this on it. Those are pretty. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Let's get our sign on. Get that out of the way. Okay, so the sign, all we have to do is punch a little hole in the bottom and the top. But you see how cute this is? It has all the little hearts on it, and then our ribbon has the little hearts on it, so it's really cute. Where is there? It is. Okay, here's my wire. Okay, so get about 20 inches out, something like that. I like this 26 gauge. Where? I think maybe my nephew might have borrowed my clippers because they are not here. Okay, I'll have to go in search of those. Okay. But my desk gets kind of rated a lot because everybody knows there's stools at it, so. Okay, let's run that through there. It probably just got put back somewhere. I'll just have to look for it. Okay. So see, I just run it right through that little hole. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. There we go. Spin it around. I like to put it in the middle. So I'm going to put it right in the middle. Kind of tuck it in just a little. Not too much, but a little. And I like to use these. These are weaving needles. You can just get them on Amazon. I do have them in my shop if you only want to get a couple. Okay. And the signs, of course. So I just thread it on. See how it has a big little opening on it? And I can use that to push it right down through the mesh. See how it just comes right through the mesh? It's not going to hurt the mesh. The mesh has tons of holes in it. And then I can just twist it around the frame a few times, and that holds it very nicely. Then, boy, I'm gonna have to find my clippers because these are not gonna. Yeah. Okay. There we go. All right. Do the same thing on the other side, just like you're sewing. Okay, we just twist it on. This will hold it real nicely. Now let's trim off the excess. Okay. Alright, then we'll just kind of straighten out our ribbons a little. Okay. Oh, this is pretty. With your ribbons, if they get too close to covering your sign, just use the wire that's in them, right, to kind of do a little curl on them to get it to curl up so that it's not hanging over your sign. So use the wire that's in there. See how you can just kind of push it like that. And then, see that? Oh, that's so cute. Let's look at it. All right, here we go. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, I love that. Look at all the colors. And you see how fun it is? You can see all the little colors on the little candies, right? But it's not like it makes it not look like Valentine's. So I like that. I don't think I want to put those little balls on. I think those might look a little too Christmassy, but I do want to do a bow. Get this mesh wrapped back up. All right. So we still have a little bit left of these two, and then I grabbed these two. So the sign has some polka dots on it. This pink has some polka dots on it. So I think that'll be super cute. All right. Now, we'll start. I usually like to start with just like the basic plain color at the bottom. I'm just going to do a little dovetail. Let's do like a 14-inch little tail, okay? And so I twist it right where it goes through the two pegs here. We're going to go out to the 6, twist at the peg, and you're only twisting on one side. So what you're doing is you're going straight through, just like that, and then you twist on the side that you're getting ready to make the loop. See how I'm only twisting on this side? And let me tell you, there is not one darn thing wrong with using a bow maker. Because if you're like me and your hands hurt, or really you just don't want to have to do them by hand, this works great. And you can make the same bows everyone else makes with their hands. And no one should ever make you feel guilty for using a bow maker. It's really so much easier, honestly. Okay. Let's trim that little dovetail. See how pretty that is? Look, just that by itself is pretty. Okay, and we're gonna do, let's know how much I have of this. There we go. We might have enough to do 2, I'm not sure. Let's just see. I'm going to do a little bit shorter tail on this one. So maybe like 12 inches. Okay. Your tails do not have to be the same length, by the way. Okay. We're going to come in a little bit, so like 5.5. I like to do this because then you can see all of the ribbons a little bit better. I think we're going to have just enough to do that. Yep, there we go. Pretty amazing, look at that. Okay, there we go. See how cute that is? Okay. This has a pattern. Okay, you can see the pattern. If it bothers you having them go different directions, you can pick it up and twist it on one side, and then everything will be going in the same direction. You see that? Okay. All right. Start with this one. I'm going to do this one a little bit longer because I'll twist it up. Okay. Gonna go just a tad shorter. There. So remember, pick it up, twist it over. But you don't want to do that until the loop is made. Okay, here we go. Okay. See how cute that is? So that's a 3, 2, 1. 3 loops, 2 loops, 1 loop. And then we're going to put some of this cute on it. These are 7/8. Yes, 7/8. Okay. So we got our little polka dot. See, isn't that cute? I have a longer tail. So we definitely want to keep going shorter. That way we can see all the cute ribbons. So when you're just doing one ribbon like this, you do not need to twist it on that side because you're not making another loop. You only twist it when you're going to be making another loop. If you're not making another loop, don't twist it. And then I've got a little bit of pink sparkly because we all need a little sparkle, right? There we go. Okay. Smaller again. Oh, that's so cute. How can you not like the sparkly, glittery stuff? Okay. There we go. Oh, what I did was my little pins. I swear they were here a second ago. I probably knocked them off or something. Okay. Just want to take our zip tie. Run it under one side like that. I'll start it and use that to pull it out of the bow maker. Okay, and then we have a really good indentation. And all you're going to do is hold one side, slide that zip tie around, and then you can even push it down to make sure it's in that indentation. That way, none of your ribbons are going to get out of place. And we can grab a pipe cleaner, put it right through the back, and then tighten it. Tighten it as much as you can. Okay, so the first thing I do to fluff these is I'm going to take the ribbons and I'm going to pull them apart like this, just to make sure that I can get them into the place I want them to be. Okay, so that's like my first step. Because sometimes they'll want to fight you, and if you go ahead and pull them into place, then you don't have to fight with them as you're trying to fluff them. Okay. All right, now I'll hold all of these in the back while I do the real fluffing. So to fluff it, you want to twist it back and forth. So what you're trying to do, you see all those little wrinkly, crinkly things where it's all tucked in? You want to get those out, because that is what makes your bow not fluff properly. Okay. So if you twist it back and forth, what happens is it loosens that up, and then you can get your hand in there and pull it out. That's why I do that. And one thing I will say, do one whole side, then the other side. Otherwise, it's real easy to get confused where you are if you're going back and forth, and that's how you get your bow gets off. And then if you can't figure out why it doesn't look right, flatten it back out and do the fluff again. And this time, go one side and then the next. Because even experienced people, if they're going back and forth and they're not really paying attention, it's easy to get lost. So there we go. So see, we've got all the cute little stuff. Now for these, I'm gonna I use my thumbs, but you can use whatever. You can use a dowel, anything that's round. So sometimes if it's like really hard, I'll use something like this. It's just a little dowel. But I tend to like to use my hands, because then I can make sure they're not going to get too small. So I'm basically just using my thumbs to get the shape of it, but it's very loose. So see, I'm just kind of twisting it around my thumbs like that. There we go. There we go. There we go. Awesome. That's so cute. I love bows. There. See? Then I'll just trim this off from the back. Lordy, I gotta find my clippers. There we go. Alright, let's take a look at both of them here. Okay. See that? So now if you want, you can put the bow on. That looks really cute. But I usually put the bow on the mailbox and then the wreath on the door. But yeah, that looks super cute if you put the bow at the bottom. Thank you. Alright, that was fun. Next time we'll do a Easter one. All right. Awesome. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. And I will see you hopefully in a couple days. All right. Bye, y'all.